You've tuned in to another edition of The Break Room, a weekly conversation about how the City of St. Augustine works from those who do the work every day. Hosted by the City of St. Augustine's Communications Director, Melissa Whistle, The Break Room offers a closer look at the different city departments and provides updates on current and upcoming projects and events. And now your host, Melissa Whistle.
Thanks for tuning in to another edition of The Break Room. I'm Melissa Whistle, Communications Director for the City of St. Augustine. This week, I'd like to welcome for the first time on The Break Room, Police Chief Jennifer Michaud.
Hi, how you doing?
So you've never been here before?
No,
to The Break Room?
time.
We're going to jump right in. We're going to jump right in with fireworks this weekend. Last year, they were canceled because of COVID. People came out this year to celebrate in the nation's oldest city. It was kind of a big deal. You were sworn in on a Wednesday, and here comes Sunday, 4th of July.
Yes.
Jump right in.
Jump right into it.
How was it?
It was great. It was the weather held off, so we were able to get the fireworks off without any issues. There was a little storm brewing out there, so there's a little bit of concern. I was on the phone with Chief Fox. Do we go ahead and start them early?
Right.
And we were able to keep them off, and everything went smoothly. The crowds were a little lower than normal.
Nice.
So that was nice for us, especially when it's your first one. So I don't know why Chief Fox has been complaining all these years. It went smooth. We had no issues.
I know what the problem was.
Yeah, it was great.
That's awesome. And a lot of agencies were involved. It's not just the city and the police department.
No. There was over 200 individuals that are on our operations plans that people don't see that are working behind the scenes. So with the city, everyone just figures it's the police department and the city fire, but and we have the city solid waste is out there and the city streets and grounds crew that they do an amazing job before and after. Nobody sees them, and they're working their tails off out there, and we can't do it without them. And then we have, obviously, SJSO. You see them everywhere helping us. FHP, Clay County was on the water helping us. St. Augustine Beach, they were helping on the island, handling all calls for service over there as our backup officers. And obviously, we have the County Rescue Unit is out there supporting our fire rescue. MPS, can't do it without them. And then we have the Coast Guard on the water supporting us.
Lots of agencies out there.
Yeah.
And it went off without a hitch this year.
We had no issues, no major complaints. We actually got the traffic out about 40 minutes faster than usual.
Great. That's good news. And a beautiful celebration. I think everybody was excited since it got canceled last year.
Yeah.
It's a beautiful fireworks display.
Fireworks were amazing.
And we did get a little glimpse of Chief Fox.
We did.
He did the introduction before it started.
I don't think a lot of people realized that was his voice, but yeah, we did have a cameo of him. There was a lot of people that didn't realize that was him.
That's great. And also, so you were sworn in there right at the end of June, and there were also 3 other promotions along with you.
Yeah, Rich Warner is our new administrative commander, so he handles more of the administrative side of the house. Some of the people you don't see behind the scenes, the investigators, school resource officers, some of the people you don't see as much, communication operators, the administrative side of the house. Okay. And then Brittany Garman, she went from a corporal to a sergeant, and she is going to be a road patrol sergeant, so she will still be out there in the sergeant on the road, having her own squad. And Detective Wayne Farrell is now going to be he's going to stay in the investigative division. I think I messed that up at the ceremony on Wednesday. I put him back on patrol, and a lot of people got terrified for a moment there, especially in the investigative unit. They thought he was going back to the road, but he is staying in the investigative unit as the corporal, supporting that unit.
So a lot of great officers within the ranks.
Yeah.
And have we hired new? How are we doing on our staffing at PD?
We're a little bit behind the power curve, and then COVID because the academy, obviously they shut down for a little bit, so they were behind. That put us behind, and then with the change of command. But we do have 3 individuals that will be starting our training program in about the next 30 days. We'll see them coming on board. They have a few more hurdles to go over before I say their names and put them out there. But you should see them in the next 30 days. We'll announce their names.
And you guys do a really great job putting a lot of that information out on social media, giving those shout outs to our officers.
Yeah, we try to get because they're the ones who do the work. I don't do the work. The officers are the ones who do the work, and they're the ones who make me look good, make my job look easy because they're the ones that are out there busting their butts every day. It's not me. It's the officers that do all the work out there.
So in talking about bringing on board new officers and the way the department runs, We'll touch base real quickly, too, about the accreditation. That was a big, major undertaking, and you were kind of the lead on that.
Yeah.
One of the leads.
Yeah.
It was a departmental thing.
That is definitely a departmental effort. Everybody has to put some effort, some not as big as others, but it is definitely 100% effort from every person in that department. Jennifer Smalls is our accreditation manager, and I believe you are going to have her on soon. So she is an amazing individual to work with. And Commander Pat McCauley was huge in that. We've always worked towards accreditation. Our policies have always been written accreditation based.
Okay.
And basically what that means is they're the best practices, that we have always worked and done what the best practices are in the industry. And the policies have been written that way for years. So it was a matter of actually filing and going through the process, which is a lengthy process, and it's time consuming and also financially. There's a commitment you need to make. And it was getting these people to back that, which was the city and the city commission. It's a big undertaking. And when the city commission, the city manager, and everybody involved in the city backed it, then it was the go-ahead to move forward with the project.
And when did it start? And then it also got hijacked a little bit by COVID.
It's normally
darn COVID.
It's normally a 2-year project. Once you file, you have 2 years to comply, and then we did get the COVID extension because our hope was to do the certification here in our hometown. There's 3 certifications done throughout the state during the year, and one of it is done in early spring at the World Golf Village.
Okay.
And that's where we wanted to do it because we wanted to do it here, right? And it's done in February, and we got pushed to do it in Orlando. So we were all excited. We made sure that when we filed that we were going to be able to do it here, bring it home, and have the
home
citizens.
Team advantage.
Have the citizens. Sometimes that could hurt because the citizens are allowed to come and talk. And so we were willing to say, come on in.
Right.
And, come on in. This is our closet. These are our drawers.
Right.
Come on in, take a look. And we didn't have a problem with it. And we wanted it to be in our hometown. And that's how we scheduled it. But we got pushed to Orlando, unfortunately.
And that's a tough one, too. Like you just said, you've got a ton of support. But we all get the naysayers. But you have to be able to let those folks come and air their grievances as well.
We don't mind.
Yep.
We don't mind.
Keeps us honest.
It does. We don't mind. We'll sit down and have that conversation. The hard ones are usually the good ones to have.
Right. What were some of the high points or major bullet points of the accreditation?
Gosh.
I mean, is it procedure? Is it people? Is it process? I'm sure it's all of the above. How does that get graded? Do you actually have to run? Do you run obstacle courses? You get timed on stuff?
No, it's just a totality. You have these standards, and you have to meet all the standards. There's like 246 standards, and we met 199 of them, and it sounds like what happened to the other,
right?
47 of them. Well, we don't qualify because we don't have a jail or we don't have canine those standards you don't meet just because we just don't have those.
You don't have it, right?
Yeah, we just don't have those areas that we deal with or a courthouse,
right?
So we met every standard 100%.
Great.
So and you can opt out 20% of the non-mandatory standards.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
okay.
Some of them are mandatory, and you can say, the non-mandatory standards were like, we're not going to meet this one, and we're gonna ask for a pass on
Gotcha.
that. Phone a friend. We're
sure.
Not, we're not going to meet that one. It's a non-mandatory standard,
right.
But we met every single one of them. We were like, nope, we're going to do it all. Either we're going to do it, or we're going to do it all right, and we did. We had a great time, and it was a little disappointing because it was still virtual.
Okay.
So we had to videotape everything. So we had to bring in our city photographer, Marin.
Yep.
And she had to videotape everything. So that made it very interesting to bring them in and highlight and showcase everything. And so it was kind of disappointing that we couldn't bring the assessors in. And you don't pick your assessors. They're assigned by the state.
Okay.
And we had to show everything via video of what the standard was and what they wanted to see. But, we live in such an amazing city with amazing residents that we wanted the assessors to come and show off our city.
Well, and you have as you have talked about in the past, we have a good relationship. Our officers are out in the community. So you do have that positive energy and that positive relationship, that to have been able to showcase that would have been
Would
nice.
have been nice, yeah.
But
Yeah.
but we came through with shining colors anyway.
Yeah, so we'll do it in 3 years. We'll have them here and get to do it again because we have to do it every 3 years.
Okay.
So they'll be back in.
Now we
and-
know.
Yep. So-
Excellent. Well, if you are just now tuning in, you're listening to The Break Room. I'm Melissa Whistle, Communications Director for the City of St. Augustine. And today in studio, I have the pleasure of speaking with St. Augustine Police Chief Jennifer Michaud. Chief, so you've inherited a great department from Chief Fox.
True.
And now it's sort of yours for the taking in terms of what do you envision? And I know you've been in the job a week-ish, so it's a little early. But I know you have talked about having some things in the forefront of your mind that you want to be looking at. Can you share with us some of the things that we might be looking forward to, or just things that you're going to continue on that you know are a good thing already going?
Yeah, listening to the officers, we want to get back into the community and do a lot more community events and do things in the community. We have such amazing people that work at the city, and I want people to understand that the officers are human. They're part of this community, and we want to do things with our community because, we live here or nearby. We're part of this, and we'd like to, solve things together and police second.
Right.
We don't want to come in and police first. We like to do things together. And if we can solve the problems up in front and worry about the policing as the second half of it
Right.
and solve things that way, we have such talented people. And if we can get them involved all the way from kids events all the way over to the nursing home elderly events, there's so many talented people that can do things, and we can start sharing ideas and tackling some of the small stuff together. That the big crimes those will come, and,
Right.
and there's some of those we can't control, but the little things we can control together as a community.
And it's almost a self-policing where the community is monitoring themselves. The community is taking an active role in taking care of ourselves.
Yeah, we're fortunate to live in a community that does do that.
What are you seeing downtown in terms of kind of the comeback of our businesses and residents coming out? I know we always have a lot of tourists, but all in all, things are feeling good in the city.
Yeah,
From a policing standpoint?
listening to the bike unit, they're staying busy. They're keeping busy, and people got to understand that. They'll say they don't see the bike unit, but they're out there, and they need to understand that if they do need to arrest somebody because they're a bad actor and they're not they're not taking their chance that the bike officer gives them. When that bike officer takes somebody to jail, there's not a cop in a box. Another one doesn't pop up.
Right.
They go to the jail, and unfortunately, if they have to take them to the hospital for medical clearance, we might lose that bicycle officer for an hour, maybe 2 hours.
So if I'm a bicycle cop and I have an incident and I respond to it and I have to then follow through with whatever this incident is, I don't just pass this offender off to someone else.
No.
I have to take them.
They have to take them, because if we pass them off to somebody else, then, a neighborhood might be suffering because we don't pull that officer from a neighborhood at that
Right.
point. It's kind of like fishing. You catch it, you clean it.
There-
So,
Yeah.
they don't, there's just not, they just don't reappear. It's not a video game,
Right.
There's just not, another officer just gets to
Right.
show up. So, sometimes we do get grief that they don't see another officer. Well, we run out of them eventually, especially if we've got a lot of bad actors in one evening.
How many bike cops do we have?
There's always 2 on at a time.
Okay.
And we have a third position, and we're not 100% full with these positions right now. And so he'll transition usually onto a bike.
Okay.
He does traffic in the beginning part. His name's Officer Barrera, and he does traffic. And once it gets dark, he usually transitions onto bike to assist them downtown. But there's only one of him, so he does get. We allow him time off.
You
So-
do?
We do,
Oh.
yeah, and vacation if he earns
If
it.
he behaves
If he
himself.
behaves.
Well, and that's funny you say that too, because when you say 2 cops with 1 alternate that comes in, to me that kind of doesn't sound like a lot. I guess when I think of the downtown, so if there's 2 and 1 has to go, you just lost 50%.
Right.
So
So the policing themselves is a huge thing.
right.
And then you have the zone officer who drives around in a car, but you see what it's like downtown. It's crowded, and so they can only be on the outskirts. So
Well.
we rely on our community to help us out and to call us if they see the issues, to let us know, and we can get there quickly still. We can still get there quickly.
Right. Well, we're keeping you on your toes.
Yeah.
And we're glad to have you. We have a lot to look forward to. And congratulations on your
Thank you.
promotion. We're glad to have you. And we'll have you back.
Absolutely.
Excellent.
Looking forward to it.
If you missed part of this broadcast and want to go back and listen from the beginning, or if you would just like to look back at past interviews, you can find us on the web at citysainagradio.com. As we wrap up another edition of The Break Room, I hope we answered your questions. If we didn't, take a minute and send an email to info@citysainaug.com. If there's someone you'd like to hear from, let me know. We'll see what we can do about getting that person on the air. We want to keep you informed about what's happening in and around the city, and that you hear it here from the people doing the work and making it happen every day. Remember, in order to stay connected, you need to be connected. Like us and follow us on our social media platforms. You'll find the city on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram at City St. Aug. And you'll find the police department on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram at St. Aug PD. Thanks for tuning in. Until next time.
You've been listening to The Break Room, a weekly program addressing projects and programs offered by the City of St. Augustine. Join us each week as the city's communications director, Melissa Whistle, has in-depth conversations with the people who make our town work to meet the needs of our community. The Break Room is produced by communications specialist for the City of St. Augustine, Cindy Walker, and engineer by Flagler College communication major, Anne Marie Gresham. See you at this time next week for another edition of The Break Room.